Hey, this is Lance, your judgment collection specialist. And guess what? I had a client reach out to me due to one of my marketing efforts who has a $10,000 judgment. What county is this in? Santa Clara County, California. And they've agreed to allow me to collect the judgment on their behalf. So that's one of my businesses, is judgment collection. So what we need to do is some paperwork to get the judgment assigned to us. So basically, the client will send me a copy of the judgment, which has the case information, the date, the amount, the court, the defendant, and their address. And then we fill out an assignment agreement and a another form, which is called, what's the form called? Agreement to purchase judgment. So I'm going to show you what those look like. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to share the screen so you can see the paperwork that has to be filled out. Then I will send this paperwork to the client, who will sign it. And one of the forms has to be signed in front of a notary. And then once they sign the form, they send it back to me. I send it to the court. And then once the court gives it back, then I start my collection efforts to get the money. Now, this judgment was originated from a traffic accident. So the judgment creditor was actually the defendant. So he was sued for a traffic accident, and the judge, and then he also countersued. So the defendant won $10,000. Now the plaintiff didn't pay his $2,000. The judgment was originated in 2020. So there's not a lot of interest, but judgments do earn some interest. Oh, let me get this legal disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. Don't consider this legal advice. If you need an attorney, go find one. But if you want to learn how collecting judgments as a side hustle, I can teach you. I have a course online that teaches you how to collect judgments, and I help you through the process as well. So, okay, back to traffic accident. Okay, it was a traffic accident that caused the accident, where the defendant was awarded a $10,000 judgment. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to provide the paperwork to get the judgment debtor, who was the plaintiff's, driver's license suspended. That's the first thing. I'm going to get their license. I'm going to submit the paperwork to get their license suspended. But here's the paperwork that we're going to do. This is the first step. Once you have the client, they agree, you got to get the paperwork so that now you have the legal authority to go and collect the judgment. Because in essence, it's just your judgment. You're buying the judgment, but I'm buying it on a contingency. And now this judgment creditor agreed to a 50-50 split with no fees that they have to pay me. Now, sometimes if they don't want to split 50-50, I make them pay me an assignment fee. And that covers all the initial fees that I have to pay to the court, because I'm gonna have to still pay fees to the court for the writ, the paperwork that has to be paid to the court, and the sheriff's department or another process server to serve the document. So let me show you these documents here. Hold on. Okay, this form here is the assignment of judgment. And what I'll do is it's basically a Word document. I just change things like the county of Sacramento. You put the plaintiff's name here, the defendant's name, the case number. There's a few things that I'll change on this form to make it specific for this client. And this form here, they have to sign this in front of a notary. This is one that has to be signed in front of a notary. Okay, so they get to sign this one in front of a notary. So let me show you the other form that I have to fill out. Now, this is the agreement to purchase judgment. And this just lays out the details of who gets what and the amounts and everything. So I'm gonna have to change all of the information, like the amount here. That's a different amount. This is from an older one. And so this is the agreement to purchase judgment. Now, when you sign up to take my training, these forms will be a part of the training, so you can just adapt them to yourself. And it's pretty much, this is specifically for California forms, but you just have to, if you're in another state, you just need to research your state's information to find out what forms are needed to work in your state. But the concept is pretty much the same. So do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be notified of additional videos that we upload on how to collect a judgment. Now, this course that I teach will teach you to collect your own judgment. Let's say you don't want to start a business, but you just have a judgment against somebody, you don't know what to do to get your money. Take this course. Sign up to take the Judgment Recovery Training course online. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a private investigator in California, and I've been collecting judgments since 2001. Actually, before that, before I was a private investigator, I had sued some people. I evicted them out of one of my rentals and got a money judgment. And I was like, how do you get your money? Because they didn't pay rent. So how are you gonna know they're gonna pay for the judgment? So I had to learn the hard way. But I created a course to teach you how to collect your judgment. Sign up for the judgment collection course down below.